What's up, guys? Igor Hernandez here. I'm one of the attorneys at Cornish, Hernandez and Gonzalez, where I practice injury law and first-party homeowner property claims. And today I want to talk to you about what the duties or what the job description is for an insurance adjuster. And an insurance adjuster, if you don't know, is that person that will call you anytime that there's a claim. So let's say you get into a car accident or you get into a slip and fall, and the other side has insurance. The insurance adjuster for the insurance company of the other side is going to call you and try to find out what happened, try to find out how it happened, and try to find out what your injuries are. Now, what is their job though? Like, why are they calling you to try to find out that information? Well, their job is to prevent and minimize liabilities for the insurance company for which they work. So that means they want to make sure that they do everything they can to minimize the amount of money that that insurance company has to pay you at the end of the day. How do they do this? Well, they do this in multiple ways. First, they'll try to take a statement from you and they'll ask you questions in a way to lead you to say things that are not accurate. So you may be injured and they may ask you, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Okay. Would you say that, it's not really that painful? Would you say it's not really that big a deal? You think, you wake up tomorrow, it's probably going to be fine. The fall that you took, you think maybe you really weren't paying attention when it happened and that's why it happened? You think that if you hadn't been wearing sandals that you wouldn't have fallen? Do you think that, anybody could have done anything different as it relates to the other driver? Do you think he's at fault? It sounds to me like anybody it could have happened to. It sounds to me like, he was paying attention. You may not have been paying that much attention. How do you feel about that? And they ask you these questions in a way to set you up to say things that they later can use against you in your claim, so that when you file a lawsuit because they don't pay you what they're supposed to pay you, they can use that statement against you. The other way that they do, if they realize that those things are not going to work, is they try to pay you a little amount of money early on and then settle the claim that way so you cannot bring a claim. Let's say you don't have a lawyer. Let's say you get into an injury, a car accident, slip and fall, that kind of thing. And the insurance company calls you for the other side. The insurance adjuster is going to try to offer you money to settle the case. And if you don't have a lawyer, they're going to know that they can offer you very little money because you don't know any better. So they'll say, okay, cool, your medical bills are $1,000. We feel terrible about what happened. I'm going to offer you $1,500 to settle this case. All you got to do is you got to sign this paper and everything's fine. Well, if you sign that paper, the case is over. You will never be able to get any more than the $1,500, even if you have to go back to the hospital, even if you have severe injuries, even if there are things that you find out later that are hurting you that you did not know at the time, which is common. Sometimes you take a fall today and you feel kind of injured or whatever, but you're not really feeling the extent of the injuries. And it may not be until 2, 3, or 4 days later until you really realize the extent of the injuries and the extent of the pain. So if they can get you early on, if they can get you on day 2 and settle that case for real cheap, then you can't come back whenever you realize that your injuries are actually worse than what you thought they were. And then that's it. That's the end of the claim. So they save the insurance carrier a lot of money in doing so. So it's important for you to know that the insurance adjuster is not really there to work for you. They're there to work for the other insurance company. And they're there to try to save them as much money as possible, which by definition logically means that they're there to try to make sure that you get as little money as possible. They get trained on how to do this. They have policies and procedures on how to do this. It's the kind of stuff that they quite literally do for a living, which is why it's important to hire a lawyer. Anytime you have any sort of insurance claim, anytime you have any sort of injury, it's critical that you hire a lawyer, because we injury lawyers are also trained in the opposite of that. We're trained in making sure that you get the most money for your injuries. We're trained in making sure that you get full and just compensation for what happened to you. And we're trained to guide you on how to go through that process without falling for the traps and the pitfalls that they will set for you. So anyway, guys, I hope that helps, and I will catch you again next time.